Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very honored to speak today at your conference. Vietnam has a huge history in industrial heritage, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about our project in Utrecht. I will introduce our company. I will introduce the systems thinking method we use, compiling integrated sustainable solutions for the long term. For that, I also assembled a few example projects, and then I will dive into the UCO community heritage building and the community. And I am really happy to show you a little bit about the process we use, and to show you a little bit about our goal settings and how the building and the community turned out in the end. We are a sustainability consulting company using systems thinking and integrated sustainability for long-term solutions. For that, we have a unique team with research, designers, and business consultants. And together with this mixed expertise, we build integrated concept from urban districts, from food production and industry, from self-sustaining cities and agriculture, strategies on circularity for organizations, innovative supply chains and products. But we also do masterclasses and trainings. Just checking if there was a note. We deliver from idea to realization. So we do research analysis, but also strategy and concepts, master plans design, and the project management. We work all around the world, and especially our focus area the last 2 years is Vietnam. So I'm very honored to speak. We see a lot of potential in the country, in the organizations, in the spirit of the country. So yeah, extra happy to be here today. I already talked a little bit about the systemic process we use. We use a symbiosis in development. It's a framework for integrated sustainable solutions and a process. And it entails a theory, a method, and process with a lot of tools. So we believe that sustainability really lies in the long-term solutions where a system is resilient, autonomous, and harmonious. So within our strategies, we have really concrete goals for these specific topics to really redesign the system for the object or the strategy to make a real sustainable solution for the long term. Symbiosis in development entails a lot of different philosophies and concepts on sustainability. So, for example, in Europe, circular economy is quite big, but life cycle assessment, natural capital, the design thinking, and co-creation is all part of it. So it is a really broad method, which I really enjoy using. So we have a certain process we follow up from intention, the research and analysis to solutions with a lot of co-creation sessions, including clients and stakeholders, and then the execution of the concept or the strategy. So for this, we have this holistic integrated approach that has specific goal settings on every layer of society. So it includes energy, materials, ecosystem, species, culture, economy, and health and happiness. And our concepts or strategies all have this different layered within. So the whole system of a society is included. We use a lot of system maps. This is an example how we use that and how make a very complex system digestible and understandable. The whole method is free to use. It's it doesn't have, it's Creative Commons, so everybody can use it. We have a free book online, but we also published a big omnibus, and we also do a lot of training, and there are also courses online, which I would really highly recommend. So to see what this symbiosis in development can bring you, I selected 2 projects in the built environment. One is the concept for the biggest eco park in the world in downtown San Francisco. It is a renovation or transformation, I could say, of a huge transport hub, a big concrete hub in downtown San Francisco. And we developed the concept to make it a huge eco park, rooftop park, which filters the carbon from the buses. It collects rainwater, it increases biodiversity, and of course the whole quality of the environment. So also with this park, the whole area, the value of the area went up. It's one of the biggest constructions over the last decades. Yeah, we are really proud of being part of it. And here you can see how it's today. It's a whole ecosystem within downtown San Francisco. I also selected this project in the eye of the heritage, the industrial heritage, what the possibilities of it are. We work together in collaboration with UN Studio, where we participated in a master plan design for old iron factory. And this site is highly contaminated. And we designed a strategy with soil remediation to make it livable again for a new master plan of a city. It includes 55,000 residents, clean former industrial site with a lot of ecosystem services, and energy and neutral and water neutral system with a lot of climate adaptation and so on. So the ecosystem services are really integrated within the project. So here we are at our Utrecht Community. It's a national center for sustainable entrepreneurship. We really wished a couple of years ago we sit together with our team, and we thought, okay, how would we like to establish our office? And we really had the dream to work together collectively in a broader community than only our team. And for that, we set up the process for an innovation community for a national center for sustainable entrepreneurship. And of course, we needed a roof. So we searched over the whole country to a suited place. And we really believe that reusing buildings is sustainable from core. So we found this train depot, and we after a few years, we converted it in a beautiful office building, a huge area, huge space for over 180 people from different organizations. This is a picture of the opening by the mayor. And here you can see what this is my desk, what my daily life looks like. We used a lot of green. It's one big open space, and we divided it in different segments. And yeah, the light is, as you can see, it's really stunning. It's really inviting and experimenting. So a little bit more about why an innovation community is so interesting for industrial heritage. So an innovation community is made up for sustainable minded and social driven individuals. It can be an organization, but it can also be individuals wanted to, they're sharing the same mission of making the world a better place for the long term. A home for entrepreneurs and freelancers and small businesses focuses on the long term, both in terms of the project and partnerships. a place to share, to collaborate, and to learn from each other. Open for new ideas, working together to achieve the common goal, basically. And for this, it's really important. I wanted to show you a little bit about the business case we used. In the startup year, after 2 years, we were financial independent, and we found different ways to adapt and evolve the business case automatically for the different services. It can be set up within an existing company or structures, and it can convert empty, abandoned buildings into an efficient and profitable business. So I think this is really a beautiful ingredient for the Vietnam market, to see how the industrial heritage really can have a profitable business case. Some highlights here, you can see some pictures of the place, the train depot in function. Of course, reusing industrial heritage that has a direct reuse of building materials, so the circularity is there in source. The resource reduction of energy and materials for the whole construction. What I also find really important is the sense of place and the traces of history you work and design with. I personally really enjoy that, using a renovation and really feel that there is a history in the building. And it has the setup of the architecture, the characteristics have a lot of opportunity for cultural institutes, for innovation, for profitable business and all the neighborhood. So the typology of the architecture has many opportunities for different uses. So in the Netherlands, we have a committee, a legal establishment who selects the monuments. So we have also quite some industrial history, and there is a special committee from the municipality or from the government who selects the buildings. And if you want to renovate some of these objects, you need an environmental permit that includes a lot of monumental legislation. So you cannot just cut down a piece of the building. So the heritage, when a building is selected for heritage, it needs quite some special look, and it has a lot of restrictions. So the development process. We started really the stakeholder engagement and the co-creation for building the community. Then we worked on the sustainability design, the construction period, and maintaining a happy and healthy community. In the next slides, I will dive in more detail how these phases, how we proceed those, and how the solution came to life. So the process of a sustainable development. We really believe that in the core of sustainability it's important to have co-creations and a lot of stakeholder engagements. Not only from the end users or the initiators, but also from the area around the object or the development. So owners, municipalities, surrounding residents, future users, contractors and subconsultants, circular material suppliers, and social workshops. We all engage them from the start of the project. So the main goal for the development was to make Utrecht, and actually it's the center of the Netherlands, as you can see, more sustainable. So in terms of resilience, autonomy, and harmony. And yeah, so the community, it has a special location in the Netherlands. It's really central, but yeah, that's the main goal, to make the Utrecht region and more sustainable. And for this goal, we had like sub-goals. So we had goals for the innovation community, for the organization, and the building. The community, really connecting and facilitating a community of entrepreneurs who share the same goal. I already touched on them a little bit in the innovation part, the community part. creating opportunities in Utrecht, increasing opportunities for sustainable work, connecting UCO and the organizations outside the community to share the knowledge and set up projects beyond borders, and taking the lead in joint ventures. So this is really the output of the community. But the organization, we also have some goals to have really a transparent and cooperative, innovative and resilient social organization. So the harmony is really embedded in the structure. And of course, a financially independent organization. We think that's also very important to have your own course and not being dependent on outside investors. For the building, of course, that it serves the main purpose. So a program for the community with different organizations, what kind of program or building facilitates that, and to see how we can directly impact the environment, the city and the neighborhood. So the sustainability design, the design of the architecture, the facilitation of the community, but also it includes the metabolic design. It's how we source energy, how we use water and waste. The material flows, we all design it's a complete inside design, and of course the interior. So here you can see some sketches, how we work with the system mapping and how we use the renders to like engage people. I talked a little bit about the program already. It's quite large in a way. It's one big open area, but it has a lot of different elements in. So we have large office spaces, medium office spaces, and small office spaces. This is the core of the income, of course, of the community, of the stichting. And we also rent out like desk spaces, flex spaces, and conference rooms. We have large meeting rooms, medium meeting rooms, and small meeting rooms. And the great thing of working together with different organizations is that you can share a lot of functions. So we share the coffee corner. We only have 2 coffee corners for the whole building, and also one printing thing where so many people make use of, and then the collaborative canteen area where you can meet people and share your lunch. And we have a big open auditorium that's also can be used to rent out. So here you can see the ground floor plan with the doors, the openings, and here I can show it better like this. So we have like the different sizes of office spaces for different plots. So here, for example, are some smaller plots, and here are some larger plots. In the middle, we also have like these desk spaces to share or to rent out. Then we have like all shared facilities from meeting rooms, small to large, coffee, the printing and storage is underneath the podium, and then the coffee and the canteen is more in this extension with the large meeting rooms. So, and then some supporting elements that support the business model. So we rent out the different meeting rooms, but also the open auditorium or the canteen. So that's including the business model for the community. So here you can see some pictures of the renovation. You almost can see it already, that in the picture below you see that it's quite dark and there is a lot of light going on. And here in the picture up, you can see how the renovation is after opening the roof, and it's so light. What a difference. It was also very important to align all the contractors with all the sustainability goals we had. It was quite new for the contractors as well. So we had to really be engaged with the whole process management. We also found it very important that the materials that were already there and they were not included in the design, that we could reuse them on the spot. So a lot of wood is being recycled into interior, will I show later on. And what's very important, we really want to show that integrated sustainable development could take place within budget. Not everybody believes that sustainability can be made within the budget. A lot of people think that it's more expensive for now, but we really showed that it's possible. So we're really proud of it. I'll walk you through the different levels of the goals that support the holistic approach. So for energy, we gain for energy neutral operations and suppliers balance on energy performance. For the materials, no use of fossil fuels, CO2 emissions positive, water neutral, waste free, and operation 100% recycling. So for this, it was really important to open up the facades and insulate them very well with new window openings. So these elements are new. So we opened up the gates, and it's been replaced with triple glassing. Also, insulating the walls was very important, and the roof, what I will show later on. For the structure, it's also a little bit aligned with the monumental state. They don't want to change, you cannot change a lot in a monument. So we said, okay, for the structure, we just leave it as it is. You can also see like the paint is getting a little bit loose. And we really chose for it to just don't touch it. We leave it as it is, and then you can see how it comes out with the opening of the roof. It's really, really beautiful, and it also gives that feeling of heritage and the industrial atmosphere. So for the roof, I already touched upon it a little bit. A lot of industrial heritage have these sawtooth roof. For us, it was really great to open it up with triple glazing. So 30 to 40% of the heat in our situation gets lost by the roof. So really high insulation was essential. And we also have some openings. So on really, really hot days, we can open the window and it can ventilate a little bit, but actually it's never really happening because of the well insulation. Let me see. Then we have low temperature floor heating and cooling with the heat pump and a concrete floor. One of the goals is to get lost disconnect from gas. So we are absolutely not supporting the Russian war for years already. What I also forgot to say, that opening up the roofs, we almost don't use internal lights. So we have a few LED lights, but 80% of the lights get saved. So that's kind of impressive. And to end with, we have independent ventilation from raw cotton. You see the pipes here. It's a adiabatic cooling system. Maybe the climate engineers know what it is. I never knew what it was before we had it, but it was the first in the country. So we also really are open to invite new innovation, and it works really well. So I already touched a little bit on reusing the waste building materials on site. So we build a whole tribune from it. What is the open auditorium? And for example, the connection area here, it's from the extension. You see that this wall is created from old window frames. A nice side note is that they're from a hospital or an elderly center, I think. And they're all reused now, and it has this really beautiful scenery. We also made a library for furniture that is circular or locally produced for the whole community, so everybody can choose their own furniture and fixings, but we give them some ideas. So for example, here I see the picture is blurry, very sorry for that, but you see the Larix wood cabinets. They are all locally produced, so they are new, but it was from a source that was local, and it's produced also very, very close. But we also use upcycled decks and refurbished chairs. And for example, these carpets are also refurbished from a local Persian store. A nice note here on the circular stairs is the ambassador of Vietnam. So yeah, what I already mentioned, the last 2 years we are really have the business development with Vietnam, and also the ambassador came and see what we did here and how we use the industrial heritage. So the next layer is life, species, and ecosystems. For this, we really wanted to have a better ecosystem, also an indoor ecosystem, and supporting the local ecosystem and biodiversity. So outside it was all paved, and in summer it was really hot. So we installed these shades, but we also we could not open the ground, unfortunately, but we added a lot of these crates with lush green, and it was also an event within the community. So we have a special group who takes care of the garden, and my colleague, he is a imker, I'm not sure what's that in a beekeeper, and we had also a bee colony. We produce flowers, food, and herbs for tea. We reuse the rainwater, and we had a diverse vegetation from herbs, flowers, crops, almond trees, and an apple tree. And what I already mentioned, we also had some bees, part of the community. Here you can see how the community really uses the garden, refreshes their minds for just a little walk through the garden, or harvest some fennel, you can see here, for the lunch, or the tomatoes. The garden was also open for the neighborhood. So we had a neighbor with his cat. He was also always coming in the afternoon, looking around, and he also took care of the garden when the office was closed. So jumping on to the societal layer, the economy and culture. For culture, we had the goals like involve the neighborhood in the programs for Utrecht, respect the past, the new value of the future, but also the diverse community for all ages and backgrounds, and supporting cultural programs. For the economy, facilitates flows between the community and the environment, and resilient business case, of course, with healthy buffers to support a flexible program. What is quite important note is that the construction was, I already mentioned, completely within the budget. We could really showcase that it is possible for a sustainable development within the budget. Also for the purpose of a community. The community goal of including community organization, flex desks, meeting rooms, and event spaces. And what is a special note is that a profitable business case, and also during Corona, it kept strength. So due to the community dedication and like the individual relations that you gain, everybody still everybody worked from home, but everybody kept dedicated to the community, so we could be occupied for 90%, and that's quite impressive for the situation here in the Netherlands. I know that it was very different in Vietnam, but the individual attachment to the community was so strong that everybody wanted to be part of it. Here you can see some of the flex spaces and an overview of the desks again, a core business model element. Sorry. For the happiness and health, well, contributing health was a very important element of the community. Non-toxic, well-ventilated and natural lit workspaces. Also, the organic food and the vegetarian lunches are elements of this. So we use a lot of indoor vegetation. They're purifying the air by indoor trees and a lot of different vegetations. And from research, and we also really notice it in the team, that seeing green is really contributes and to your health and well-being, and it reduces stress levels, and it really works well in the industrial heritages. And I wanted to end today, I think this is one of the greatest things of the building is the natural light with the triple glazing, of course. It has such an unique experience of the landscape in a way, and that's also really a beautiful thing for a potential for industrial heritage to really see the changes of daylight, the change of the position of the sun, and it repeats into really beautiful patterns that change over the day. So the architecture of the industrial heritage has a lot of opportunities for these experiences. A little to show that we are a healthy community. We have a lot of events, but also services for a healthy and sustainable way of living. And as I already mentioned, is that we broke grounds. Well, we're really open for connection in Vietnam, and the business development team is there working full speed. And we also see a lot of potential for Vico community, Vietnam community. A few highlights, and then my speech is done. So today we are setting up a collaboration with the university in Ho Chi Minh City to set up innovation labs in old buildings. We look for old buildings in Ho Chi Minh City. Today we have nearly 20 organizations expressing their interest to become a tenant or a sponsor at Vico, and we also had the support of the Dutch consulate already. Here you can see how Vico could be compared to an average building in Vietnam, like zero energy use, and CO2 neutral, over 60% water savings and 70% of waste reduction. So yeah, it's quite impressive if we can do it. And if you want to engage, please contact me or one of my colleagues. My colleague, she's the business or the office business developer in Vietnam. So you can also contact me or Chi. And I always like to end off with this quote: "The best way to predict the future is to invent it." And I think the future is now, and if we can shape the future together, we can do it. I really believe in it. Thank you so much.